Good morning. As we are studying chapter 7, in which I have told you about the certain topics. Now, today, our lecture is about deforestation. Now, today we are going to cover these topics. We are going to study about the deforestation, causes of deforestation, effects of deforestation, and solution to deforestation, about the conservation of forest, conservation of wildlife, and about the national park. So these things that we are going to discuss one by one. Now, first of all, we are going to know about that what is deforestation. So let's know about that what is deforestation. Deforestation means cutting down of trees to a large extent. So the cutting of trees to a large extent, be in forest, is commonly known as deforestation. Natural forests are being destructed to use the land for cultivation, building houses, factories, logging, making space for cattle grazing, extraction of oil, mining, construction of dams, or to obtain the wood for making the furniture, using it as a fuel. So we are getting the different things from the forest, as we are knowing that we also depends on forest for the certain things that we are getting from the forest, and we are clearing the forest for our needs. So due to the increase in population and due to the increase in the demand of the people for certain things that we are getting from the forest, there is a rapid clearing of the forest, and this leads to deforestation. So deforestation means cutting down of trees to a large extent. This is commonly called deforestation. So there are different causes of deforestation also, that we are going to know about that what are the things that is responsible for the deforestation. So about this we are going to know one by one, in which the first one is logging. So first of all, we know that what is logging. The illegal activities are very common that destroy the livelihoods of the people depending on the forest. There are some illegal activities that is commonly performed by the human beings, and they are continuously destroying the forest for their needs. So in order to get the certain things, wood-based industries like paper, matchstick, furniture need a substantial amount of wood supply. The wood is used as a fuel most commonly, and so large amount of trees are cut down for fuel supplies. So firewood and charcoal, that is also used as a fuel that we are getting from the forest. So these illegal activities that is commonly performed by the human beings, and they are continuously destroying the forest for their livelihoods. So this cutting of trees on large scale for their human needs and this illegal activities, that is mainly responsible for the deforestation. Next is about the agricultural activities. The conversion of forest into agricultural land is a big reason for the deforestation. Means the forest gets converted into the agricultural land due to the increase in the demand of the people for the land in order to grow the certain crops, in order to construct the buildings, in order to construct the bridges. So there is an increase in demand of the people, and due to that there is a rapid cutting of trees, and due to overgrowing demand for food products, and many trees are chopped down for the crops and for the cattle grazing. Over 40% of the forests are cleaned to obtain the land and to meet the needs of the agriculture and wood. So these agricultural activities, by this way we will know that these agricultural activities that is also responsible for the deforestation. Next is urbanization. Urbanization means as the population grows, we know that the population is growing at rapid rate. So as the population grows, the needs for the people is also increases, and which further leads to deforestation. Forests shrink to a great extent to meet the requirements, like for construction of roads, development of houses, expansion of industries. Increasing the population directly affects the forest with the expansion of the cities. So we can say that the urbanization is also responsible for the deforestation. Next is about the next thing that is responsible for the deforestation is timber production. So one of the primary cause of deforestation is the production of timber, and that timber is mainly used for making the furnitures. So there is a lot of demand of timber, so deforestation increases, and it leads a source of raw material which is used for the production of paper and also for the construction. They are used for these purposes, and due to this there is a rapid cutting of the forest occurs. So this is one of the cause of the deforestation. Next is forest fire. We lose a large number of trees each year due to the fires in the forest, and this happens due to the extreme summers and winters. The fire by the man or the nature results in huge loss of the forest cover. So by this way also there is a loss of forest. So we lost a large number of trees each year due to the fires in the forest, and this mainly occurs due to the extreme temperature. The fire caused by the man also and or by the nature also it occurs, that results in huge loss of the forest cover. So these all are the things that is responsible for the. So these are the main cause of the deforestation, in which the first one is logging, second one is agricultural activities that I have told you, urbanization, timber production, and forest fires. Now we are going to know about that what are the effects of deforestation. So there are certain effects of deforestation, in which the first one is greenhouse effect, or we can say greenhouse gas emission. The gases such as methane and carbon dioxide gas has the ability to trap the heat in the Earth's atmosphere, and that causes the increase in the average temperature of the Earth, leading to the change in climate. The trees absorb the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen. We are knowing that the trees absorb the carbon dioxide during photosynthesis process, and it releases oxygen gas and water into the atmosphere, and this contributes to the global warming. So if there were no trees, then this carbon dioxide gas is not absorbed, and there is an increase in the concentration of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and due to the increase in the concentration of these greenhouse gases, they trap more and more heat, and that causes the average increase in the temperature of the Earth, and that is mainly responsible for the global warming. And this increase in the average temperature of the Earth is commonly known as global warming. So this is one of the effect of the deforestation. Next is soil erosion. Cutting down of trees that leads to the clearance of the forest, so that the soil erosion takes place. Soil erosion means the removal of the top fertile layer of the soil by the action of wind, by the action of water, or by some other natural reason. So this cutting of trees is also responsible for the erosion of the soil. So the soil, because the soil gets tightly bound by the roots of the plants, by the roots of the trees. So if there were no trees, then in that case, the soil is not gets binded, and it becomes loose, so it gets easily eroded by the action of the wind or by the action of the water, and their exposure of the soil to the sun heat that dries up the moisture inside the soil, and due to this the rain washes the soil surface and the erosion takes place. So the removal of the topmost fertile layer of the soil takes place by this way. This leads to the soil erosion. This is commonly known as soil erosion. So this is one of the effect of the deforestation. Next is about the floods. Deforestation leads to the land erosion because the trees maintain the surface of the mountains. It leads to the flood also because the roots of the trees that binds the soil, and it also absorbs the large amount of the water. So the large amount of the water gets absorbed by the roots of the trees. So if there were no trees, then it leads to a condition that is known as flood. The water level of the rivers increases and suddenly causes the flood. And when it rains, the trees because we are knowing that when it rains, the trees absorb and store the large amount of water with the help of their roots, and cutting down of trees disrupts the flow of water and leads to the floods in some areas because that water not gets absorbed by the roots of the trees, and due to this it leads a condition that is known as flood. Now there are various solutions of the deforestation. So what are the things that we can do in order to reduce the deforestation? As we know that the trees plays a vital role in the protecting our environment in several ways, so we should protect the forest. The best way to stop the deforestation is replanting. Ban on cutting off trees and new trees are planting more. Means if we plant more and more trees, by this way we are able to reduce the deforestation. So replanting is one of the best methods that is used to stop the deforestation. It means that when the trees are gets cut, that for example, suppose that if 100 number of trees are gets cut, so in the place of 100 of the trees, 100 more trees are gets planted. So this is known as replanting, and replanting is one of the best way to stop the deforestation. Ban on cutting of trees and new trees are gets planted. This is the second most important method that is used to stop the deforestation. Second is third one is that there should be an implementation of regulation of law at organizational and governmental levels due to extent of deforestation. Spread the awareness among the sensitization and organize the educative campaigns about the effects of the deforestation. So these are the certain solutions of the deforestation. So next topic that we are going to discuss in this chapter is about the conservation. So we are going to discuss about the conservation of forest. So let's know about that conservation of forest. And the forest can be conserved in following manner. So first of all, we know that what is conservation of forest. Conservation of forest is the practice of saving the trees that are cut by the industries and other organizations in the name of development and urbanization. So in the name of development and urbanization, large number of the trees are being cut by the industries and other organizations. So it is planting new trees and taking care of them. So it is very important that we should plant more and more trees and taking care of them. Number of trees that are cut must be lower than the number of the trees are get planted, and it is very important that the number of the trees that are being cut is lower than the number of the trees that gets planted. All the people must take the active initiative to plant more and more trees in the neighborhood and also stop numerous trees from being cut. So this is about the conservation of forest. So by this way we can conserve the forest, and there are some ways by which we can conserve the forest. Introducing afforestation programs, controlling the forest fires, proper utilization of forest resources, and proper care should be taken to protect the forest from the pest and disease. This is also one of the way by which we are able to conserve the forest. We should protect the forest from the pest. Pests are the organism that causes harm to the plants, and we should also protect it from the diseases. because when the diseases occur in forest, it causes lots of damage. So it is very important that we should protect the forest from the pest and from the diseases. Introducing afforestation means we should plant more and more trees. We should plant more and more trees. By this way, we can conserve the forest, by controlling the forest fires and proper utilization of the forest resources. So these are the certain ways by which we are able to conserve the forest. Next topic is about the conservation of wildlife. Now we are going to know, first of all, we are going to know about that what is the conservation of wildlife. So conservation of wildlife, in this we are going to know about that the protection. First of all, we know that what is wildlife conservation. The protection of diverse wildlife in the forest is called wildlife conservation. There is a diverse wildlife is also found in forest, and their protection is commonly known as wildlife conservation. So the wildlife is the animals and the birds that live in the forest and that are not domesticated by anyone. It means that whatever the types of animals and the birds that live in the forest and that is not domesticated by anyone, they are the part of the wildlife. They are commonly known as wildlife. The forest, that is their natural habitat, and that forest is their natural habitat where they live, and the destruction of the forest leads these animals to become homeless. And when there is a destruction of forest, these animals becomes homeless, and these animals later come among the villages and feed on the crops, and as they do not have the specific home to live. And this is only the reason that makes the animals to come among the villages and feed on the crops, and as they do not have the specific home to live. So this is about the conservation of wildlife. So conservation of wildlife is mainly concerned with the preservation or protection of wildlife, both animals and plants, in their natural habitat. So if they are protected in their natural habitat, is commonly known as wildlife conservation. That in enabling these forms to reproduce and to give fertile offspring without interference by the man and his activities. And in this wildlife conservation, there is no any interference of the human beings. Not any kind of activities is allowed in forest, because forest is a kind of natural habitat. It is a kind of natural home for the animals and for the birds. So this is about the conservation of wildlife. Now we are going to know about the national park. So first of all, we know that what is national park. National park is a habitat for the particular wild animals species where foresting, grassing, cultivation is totally prohibited. Prohibited means it is not allowed. So national park is a habitat. It is a living place for a particular wild animals species where foresting, grassing, cultivation is totally prohibited, and this is known as national park. National park in India are just as diverse as our cultures and traditions, with a whopping number of 103 national parks is existing in countries as of now. India holds a record of bearing third highest number of national parks in Asia. So India holds a record of bearing the third highest national number of parks in Asia, though most of the national parks in India are meant as reserve for some rare species, and they also offer a great scope of tourism. So they attract the tourism also, boasting some rare animals like one-horned rhinoceros, Asiatic lions, Bengal tigers, and many other marine animals are found in national parks. National parks in India occupies a special place in its tourism, and it is a kind of it occupies a special place in its tourism. So it is a good place for the tourist also. So this is about the national park. So there are some national parks that is found in India, and there are some figures that shows you the different types of national park and where they are found. So the first one is Panna National Park, that is found in Madhya Pradesh. And the next slide is about the Manas National Park, Periyar National Park, that is found in Kerala, Gir National Park in Gujarat, Great Himalayan National Park is found in Himachal Pradesh in India, Vandoor National Park in Andaman, Sundarban National Park is found in West Bengal, Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh, Bandipur National Park in Karnataka, Kaziranga National Park in Assam. So these are the certain national parks that is found in different parts of India. So there is one table that shows you the name of the different national parks that is found in India and their location, in which the first one is Corbett National Park, and this type of national park is found in Uttarakhand. Second one is Kaziranga National Park, and this national park is found in Assam. Third one is Kanha National Park, and this national park is found in Madhya Pradesh. Fourth one is Manas National Park, and this is found in Assam. Bandipur National Park, that is found in Karnataka. Ranthambore Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan, and Sariska Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan, Gir National Park in Gujarat, Periyar National Park in Kerala. So these are the list of the certain national parks that is found in different parts of India. So this is about the national park and where they are located. So students, I have told you about the certain topics of this chapter. Still some topics are remaining that we are going to cover it very soon. So whatever the topics that I have taught you today, you must revise all the topics, and whatever the questions, whatever the exercises that is given in your book, try to do the exercises yourself. Thank you, students.